1 week after, and we are in the heart of democracy, as you can see behind me. The terrorist attack, yes, it affected the UK, but we're still strong. Finally, there is the triggering of Article 50. Is it game over? Scotland still wanting to break free from the UK. And finally, what is the black perspective in regards to Brexit? Is the black community ready to seize the day? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to In Review. We're the show that looks at the big news of last week and week before. And of course, as you can hear, Big Ben, which is boinging, that shows that we are the heart of democracy. Terrorists hasn't touched us and will never ever touch the UK because we are strong. Today I'm joined by Cheryl Jumbo, who is of the Black Beauty and Fashion Award, BBFA, and Coach Nnamdi. Now, I may not say it right, but he will correct me eventually, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, how are you, Cheryl?
Very well, thank you.
And how was your day today?
Brilliant. It's a nice, fresh morning. Sun is out.
Yeah, well, you're freezing earlier, weren't you?
I was, yes.
And Coach?
Yeah, good to meet you. Coach Nnamdi, Chukwu.
Yeah. Coach Nnamdi, you are an occupational therapist? Or?
No.
Yes.
I'm a business analyst,
Yes.
business coach.
Okay.
Background is psychology.
Fantastic. And Cheryl?
Cosmetic scientist, my background,
Yes.
and now also founder of the Black Beauty and Fashion Awards.
Okay, I know today you guys want to Brexit, yes?
We have already, haven't we?
Okay, well listen, as you know, we are at the heart of democracy at House of Parliament, Westminster. Just over a week we had the recent terror alert.
Very unfortunate.
And as you can see, the police are all over the place. We couldn't even get parking today. But the most important thing is, what are your thoughts about last week and in London?
Well, I would say in true Brit style, we have remained calm and we have indeed carried on. It was very unfortunate what happened, but I guess it also is a testament to the great work that is happening within our intelligence. From what I've understood, we've been able to foil at least 12 various attacks on the city, and it's evident that this man was a lone attacker. So it's great to be able to see that our efforts are paying off, we must continue.
Yeah. And Coach, now in regards to what happened last week, what are your thoughts in regards to like Europe and the opening? Do you believe that you're going to find more homegrown than actually external persons coming in?
Coming in where?
Coming in from Europe or outside to have terrorist attack on the UK?
The jury's out. I think it'd be a foolish man who try to, give you an answer to that, a definitive answer.
Yes.
The reality is this. The reality up to today, all of our terrorists have been homegrown. So going by past experience, it would suggest that we'll continue to have that as the prevailing trend.
Yes.
I don't see anybody coming in. I see our homegrown people, either those returning from conflict or those already here.
Yes. So therefore, what do you see then as one of the key factors in regards to the Scotland Yard dealing with this era of infiltration in the mind onto impressionable minds in the UK, since it's not external coming in?
Well, we're talking about radicalization, and I think one of the key elements to that, what makes it doable, is people feeling disenfranchised, those who don't feel they have a stake in the society. So unless we address that issue of how do we engage with those dispossessed, the underclass, the working poor, those at the margins of society, how do we bring them into the fold, make them feel fully part of the society? We will continue to face that problem.
Fantastic. And Cheryl, our condolences, of course, to the families of the four persons, including the policemen.
Yes, indeed.
And it's unfortunate, yes, isn't it?
It is. It's very sad. As I mentioned before, there has been a little hysteria regarding the unfortunate deaths of these four people. And my heart goes out to their families. Having said that, though, I do believe that the people that were within the community at the time,
Yes.
the police officers, some of the local MPs, passerbys, they really contributed to
Yes.
making sure that things didn't escalate
Yes.
and everything remained calm.
Yes.
So yes, I think that we always have to be vigilant.
Yes.
These things can happen at any time, and the fact that it wasn't particularly organized
Yes.
does make some of us feel vulnerable.
Yes.
But we can rest assured that at least our intelligence
Yes.
is having a great impact.
Fantastic. And of course, we are right here now, so therefore we're moving on, and that's it. Now, next one is Brexit. Theresa May has triggered Brexit. I mean, before they were talking about Armageddon when the referendum was made, June the 23rd. Then after that, nothing happened. Then Brexit has happened now. We're still here. No Armageddon. Is that it now? Are we ready now? Brexit.
Are we ready? That is a good question. I don't think anyone is ready, and no one really knows what to expect.
Yes.
We are going with the flow at
Going
the
with
moment.
the flow. I don't go with the flow. I go against the flow.
The triggering of Article 50.
Yeah.
Now we have a race against time. They have these 5 points that they need to consider. This is, unprecedented. This has never happened before.
Yeah.
So it's a new experience for the EU as much as it is for the UK.
That's a good point. Nnamdi, I want to pick up that point. Cheryl said a while ago that it is a new experience for the EU, and she also said uncharted waters. But then guess what? Isn't the UK was there before? It's uncharted waters for the EU, isn't it? They have never had a member leave them before. So it's not new for the UK, it's new for Europe.
Yeah, I'm with Flow Rider here. Flow, you're going against the flow,
I'm
right?
going against the flow.
Flow
Going against
Rider.
the flow, yeah.
There is a very good way to look at it.
Yes.
I mean, with any problem, it's about perspective.
Yes.
The perspective you've just taken
Yes.
is one of, okay, listen, we've been on our own before. That's
Yes.
not a new thing for us. So we shouldn't fear that. This is not fear of the unknown. It's fear of the very much known.
Yes.
UK is the 5th largest economy in the world. UK is one of the key countries in terms of the UN. It's in the Security Council. UK is the head of the Commonwealth.
Yes.
It consists of 52 countries. UK has really not much to fear. I think in terms of the deficit to the EU, when they take out the contribution of the UK, the second largest contributor after Germany, we're talking about a significant financial deficit. So I think in reality, it is the EU that has to have the most concern.
That's interesting, isn't it? Now, £54 billion, I understand, is a bill that they want the UK to pay over to the EU, or 60 billion or 25 billion.
Yeah.
Should we pay that?
We should pay whatever is due.
Yeah.
Now, determining what is due is about deciding upfront on the parameters of that debt.
Yes.
Now, the debt, from what I understand, is about commitments. It's not about actual owed money. It's about forward commitments.
Yes.
When the UK was part of the EU, it made commitments to future projects. And it's about, will you honor those commitments?
That doesn't
Because
make
in terms
sense,
of, well,
does it?
it does
Yeah.
make sense. Because when you are involved in something,
Yes.
when you don't perceive, you look into the future and say, there's a time when we will no longer be together.
Yeah.
If you have committed to that, people go forward with that project
Yes.
and commit certain resources to
Yes.
achieving it. Those resources are already in place. So again, let's not argue about the detail. Let them agree the parameters as to how that debt is decided. If they agree that
Yes.
future commitments is part of that debt,
Yes.
then surely UK has a right in duty to honor those commitments. But there
Cheryl.
is actually no money owing.
Cheryl, in a divorce settlement, I'm not saying you know anything
Yes.
about divorce.
I don't know.
But in
Just to
a
clarify.
divorce settlement, when two persons, well, many people say it's a divorce.
Yes,
but
it is,
This is
in a sense.
this level of divorce is a bit different, because guess
Yeah.
what? You have so many parties. Is it? This is when a person married to 3 persons, 4. What is that?
It's a polygamous relationship.
What sort of relationship is it? Is it a divorce?
Talk to the Mormons.
Is it
They'll tell you.
okay, so this is more like a Mormon sort of situation.
polygamous
then. A polygamous relationship. When you have a divorce, I mean, at the end of the day, do you get everything which you had planned in the marriage after you break up, or you agree a deal out?
You have to deal out, of course.
It's a deal out, isn't it?
Yes.
You won't get everything which you had planned for 20,
Sure.
30 years.
Absolutely.
So therefore, Go on.
But you could argue,
Yeah.
depending on the priority and what's most important,
Yes.
sometimes those things supersede other discussions and
Yeah.
arrangements.
Yes.
So, for instance, if it were a marriage, children's education maybe would take top of the list, possibly.
Yes.
And so that's an interest for both parties to ensure that their children are highly educated.
True.
So it depends on the, yeah.
Well, this morning I heard on the news that there's another legal challenge.
Yeah.
you know about a legal challenge? There's a new one which they're talking about. Tell us about this new legal challenge.
Well, there's a number. I'm not sure which one you're
Yeah.
referring to. Which
Yeah.
one are you referring to?
Well, there's one mentioned this morning, and I can't remember exactly. I heard it on LBC.
Yeah.
But there's so many legal challenges. I think Gina Miller is talking about through the legal challenge as well.
Yeah.
But are people actually... Doesn't the Prime Minister need the nation... And I'm going to come to Scotland very soon, because you're Scottish. I mean, isn't the Prime Minister need now for persons to really rally behind her? Don't have to agree with everything, but rally behind her in this time of unity as we exit the EU, not Europe, exit the EU.
This time of challenge, I don't know if it's a time of unity. That's what we're aspiring to.
Yeah.
It's a time of challenge.
Yes.
And I think you're right. The Prime Minister does need us all now to forget the Brexit. It's no longer Brexit.
Yeah.
We've gone past the vote.
Yeah.
We know the decision. We now have to all unite to try to get the best deal possible,
Yes.
the best future for all of us. So absolutely, I'll agree with you.
Yes.
That
Wow,
the time
really
now,
fantastic.
yeah, for sure. When you're right, you're right. Huh? When you're right, you're right.
Yeah. What is it? What is? As I say, what is?
What is this?
What is this? Yeah.
Ism schism.
Ism schism. Yeah. Yeah.
So yes.
Now, what do you say now? And I'm going to move on to something else. Ramonas, Brexiters. These terms, I consider them as very divisive. Ramona, Brexiters. Shouldn't it just be Brits now? Shouldn't they
Absolutely.
move away from the
Absolutely.
Ramonas and the Brexiters?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's something that we've become accustomed to.
Yeah.
We're quite good at dividing the
Yes.
people. And we should really be looking at coming together, putting all of our heads together and figuring out what is the best way forward and coming up with real solutions that make sense.
Yes. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, no more Ramonas or Brexiters. We are Brits moving forward. Whether this is our adopted home, like myself, I'm originally from Jamaica. Where are you originally from?
Nigeria.
But you're Scottish.
Yes, born and bred in Glasgow.
Okay, and you're?
I'm Nigerian from Igbo by birth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So therefore, we are very dynamic, diverse at the same time.
Yeah.
Actually, are you my first Nigerian guest?
No
on the interview?
way.
Oh, fantastic. We're going global now.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
Now, listen. Nicholas Sturgeon is also wanting to Brexit.
That's
The
true.
UK.
Yes.
You're Scottish,
Yes.
right? What's going on?
Oh, if I were in Scotland and I were able to vote, I would have probably voted for Scotland to have its independence. I do believe that they can fare well on their own. I do think that it would be maybe in Nicola's best interest to find out what the deals Theresa comes up with before deciding to completely break away from the UK. I think she'd have more ammunition and be more informed and make better choices.
You think she's a bit premature at this
I
time?
think so. I do. Yeah, I think that knowledge can't hurt. And just waiting a little bit should, yield some benefits.
Coach, do you think she likes to be in the limelight?
No, I don't. I think that's a little disingenuous. I think we need to be charitable.
Yes.
The woman does have. There's no hiding her agenda. She wants partition. She wants Scotland to be a separate country. But limelight, no. I mean, it's a means to an end.
But do you think at the same time that the Scottish people?
Yeah.
I mean, the referendum was one thing before, where they voted to remain in UK.
Yeah.
Now, the people of Scotland, are they saying now that they want to leave the UK just because the UK is leaving the EU?
Well, that is the premise. That's not the people of Scotland. That's the Scottish Party.
Yeah.
Let's be clear about it. The people of Scotland haven't spoken yet.
Right.
So the Scottish Party that represents a minority of Scots. They haven't got a majority in the Scottish Parliament.
Yeah.
They have a minority. They needed the Greens to back them in that particular vote. So let's be clear about that.
Yes.
I think still there is the jury's out as to whether or not the majority of Scots even want another referendum.
Yes.
There is talk that actually the vast majority, the last poll that was taken, 60% of Scots said they weren't interested in another referendum.
Yes.
So she's actually on the back foot on this issue.
But don't you think at the same time that this is actually now putting a spoiler in the whole process of with the UK wanting to leave the EU, having this great fantastic deal?
Yeah.
And I say fantastic like Trump, you know what I mean? I have not touched that at all. We won't even touch Trump factor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But don't you think that's the key factor, Cheryl?
I do think so. Yes, I think that as you mentioned, it would be advisable to at least have the unity that's required in this challenging time. It is a huge distraction,
Yes.
to be honest.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm going to wrap up this now and bring it from a black perspective. Now.
Okay.
And this is a fundamental thing.
We always get back to the black perspective.
Get back to the black perspective, the black element.
Back to black.
Back to black. Back to black.
Black don't crack. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen. Whenever you got something like this of this nature, we always have to home into, are we, black people, community, all over, united and understanding what is really happening in this challenging moment? Are we seizing this opportunity? I see it as an opportunity. Uncharted waters, uncharted opportunities. Are we really seizing it?
I'm not sure if we are collectively as a unit understanding the benefits and seizing them, but most definitely there are individuals who are seeing the great advantages that Brexit can offer in terms of trade. The Commonwealth is there.
That's a good point, the Commonwealth.
Yes, indeed. And in terms of, from my perspective of black beauty, Afro hair products, grooming products for black and multiracial individuals, there are larger markets out of the UK and EU.
Before I go, I want to talk about, expand on the Black Beauty and Fashion Awards and this whole thing with the Brexit. Incorporate that into what you're saying.
Okay. Well, the Black Beauty and Fashion Awards understood that there was an issue of social exclusion. So we wanted to address that by creating an award that looks at what are the best products available for this demographic. Upon doing further research, we noticed that actually in terms of ownership of the industry, it's minuscule. Black business within this sector own maybe only 3% of a multi-billion global industry. So the plight became, how can we economically empower ourselves, and so that is why the BBFA serves as a platform to give exposure and visibility to some of the amazing homegrown brands, and also great opportunities for export, because as we know there's 3 million of us here, which is brilliant, but if you are making Afro products, black beauty products suited for darker skins, there is a wider audience market waiting for your products. So as well as domestic business and improving the GDP for the UK, I think there's a missed opportunity. Afro hair and beauty is considered very niche, however it is massively lucrative. So by supporting entrepreneurs and business within the EU and within the UK, we're only going to improve our economic status and improve society as a whole. And then also we're looking at opportunities for bilateral trade with Africa and other Commonwealth countries. I think it's a win-win situation.
That's interesting. That's interesting. You can pick up on that, Coach.
Well, I'd absolutely echo what Cheryl just said. I think it is an opportunity, and it's about being geared up for the opportunity. I recently did an event with Dr. Vince Hines, one of our pioneers in the UK for black activism. Vince Hines goes back 40 years, was there with Boateng and all the others. He was the mentor for those guys. The Vince Hines Foundation recently put on an event called Trying for the Grassroots. My problem with our so-called black community, quote unquote, because I don't believe it exists. I think
a black community.
I think it's a mythology. Is that we are constantly at that level. We never seem to rise above grassroots. We never seem to ascend into structures that have a global presence. A World Wildlife Fund started at someone's kitchen table. Apple started at someone's garage. Facebook, but we never seem to take that next step. And it's about having the vision. So when you talk to someone like Cheryl here, who sees opportunity in every challenge, rather than challenge in every opportunity, we start to see the new generation of achievers.
So therefore, you are believing that at this time now, with the Brexit factor and with changes which are happening, it is to step up to the next level.
We need to see opportunity in every challenge.
In every challenge.
It's about going against the flow.
And ladies and gentlemen, on that note, we're going to go against the flow, and we want to thank you so much for joining us today at House of Commons. I want to thank my good guest, Cheryl Jumbo.
Thank you very much,
of the
Sylvan.
Black Beauty and Fashion Awards, and Coach Nnamdi. And
you'll get it right.
I get it right. And ladies and gentlemen, as we say, Brexit, I'm out.
Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hey. It's the one and only Digo Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know I'm mobbing with the D.R.E. Yeah. You know the West Coast is back for all you suckers.